Looks good, although, crap. Hold on.
There we go. I had to mute my other thing. Cool, great, yeah. Okay, that's functional at least, whatever. Good enough. Okay, y'all. Well,
The map reminded me about everything that happened last time. It's a cool visual.
yeah,
Like, oh, yeah, I know exactly where we are.
I have to show you my other map for the other campaign after. The tiles are real pretty. Okay, so on the last episode of Dungeons and Dylan's Ball Z. So after exploring the ruins of geez, it's been a long time. Durialn, you guys were alluded to essentially the world at one point being Odinmere, which is the one world where everything was one existence. There were no different planes. Everything resided in the same universe, if you will. It's kind of all, you know what I'm trying to say. So after making your way out with this information and with a little guidance from Mistra, you guys ended up going to Fort Vignan, where you decided to travel from a vision to the Spire of Resolve, which you know, which Lafro knows. There are 7 strewn throughout the world, and you now believe that they are the key to what's been happening with the recent events, with the merging of the planes, if you will. There was a discussion with kind of a long dead dwarven queen in this pocket dimension, in which she essentially said, when the spires fall, the outsiders will come. So last time specifically, when you were traveling through the desert, the caravan that you were traveling with had a couple of disappearances. You found out it was some scorpions, and where we left off was essentially bringing the corpses of the dead back, and having a somewhat of a remembrance festival. And the last thing was, as you guys were settled down, and as Lafro went to sleep, he just heard that again. He had a vision, and the last thing he remembered waking up was the whispers of, when the spires fall, the outsiders will come. So you all wake up the next morning, a bit chilly as it is. It is a bit chilly here, but you know, your warm clothes keep you nonetheless. And everybody has a breakfast. You know, has some water from the bucket, etc., and begins to go on their way.
Our barrel.
It's a good barrel.
It is. Home of the good barrel.
That's right, I got a nat 20 for finding this caravan, so they happen to be going exactly where we're going.
Okay, so we're just going to go in the order that Roll20 grants us, and have you guys roll a d6. You guys can travel, given that it's a desert and the caravan, I'd say, I think we did 4 last time. Yeah, we'll just say, because it's probably like a well-traveled route, we'll do 4. So it'll go Anthony, or it'll go Darum, Lafro, Callie, and then back to Darum.
Oh, I see. The order down below, like left to right. Gotcha.
Yep. Okay. So again, you guys take a day. At this point, you're not exhausted or anything, but it's certainly taxing. It's quite different from walking in the rest of the land areas, the like more forested regions. Just like this, the sand is getting in your boots, and it's like when you walk on the beach for any extended period of time. It's like it's a different workout in itself. So kind of like resting those unused muscles, you drift off to sleep. No more incidents this time. You wake up, and I'll just have Lafro just roll one more. Okay. The last one is free because it gets you there. So the caravan begins to pull up, and you can see from a while away there is a just a large stone spire. The way it's polished, it's almost as if it has a sheen. Like when you first come across like over one of the dunes, it's almost blinding as you kind of like you have to put your hand in front of your face, and kind of glinting over. That's your first vision of it. As it grows larger in your vision, going closer and closer to it, you can see there's somewhat of a small oasis around it, and at the base of this huge tower, there's what looks to be like a small kind of an outpost. Like I wouldn't call it a full city or even a full town per se, as much as it's a again,
settlement?
yeah, it's a settlement, but it doesn't seem extremely large, centered around this kind of small oasis in this tower. And as you approach closer and closer, you can see the relaxed expressions of many of the people, kind of like, oh great,
Was this their destination, or was this just a stopping point for them?
This is a stopping point for them, correct? Yeah. So that's why they were so willing, is because sometimes they stop if they're in a real hurry. They cut across to save time, because they take this route many times. But in this case, they were not in a hurry, so they were able to stop.
Will they stop here for a while?
When you ask them, they said they generally just stop for a day, sometimes two. Just make sure that like all their water is in check, like everything is good. Sometimes they do trade goods, because they're going back and forth. So
if we get busy and they leave without us, which is fine, obviously, do they come back this way after a certain amount of time?
eventually, but nothing guaranteed. It's not like it's a continuous trek back and forth. It's
Right.
kind of, they help bring shipments, kind of inland. They bring goods back and forth. Sometimes it's just because people need to travel, and sometimes it's easier to take this route, so they're more of an escort. It really depends on the circumstance.
Sensible.
So, Lafro, just because you have the observant feat, correct?
Yes.
So you notice it's almost like your hair stands on edge as you're approaching. Like the closer you get to the tower in the settlement, it's like you get like almost like an electric sort of feeling, like a static. Yeah. Go ahead and just make an Arcana check, but it feels like you almost like can smell like ozone almost, if that makes sense. It's not quite the same, but
Oh, cool. I
yeah,
have my character sheet is out. You know what I mean? Like as a pop out. I didn't think my buttons would work, but they still do. That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
if you attempt to edit the sheet, like with the edit button, it'll bring it back in. But yeah, it's very useful, especially for me if I'm running multiple people. I'll have everything up on my other screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, a 15 does it. Only because you've come across this instance once before, you believe that this sits on a ley line, like that this is a place of power, in itself, but it's very strong. It's much stronger than what you've ever encountered before.
Sweet. Let's suck up some mana. Cool. Just looking up at the clouds, see if they'll give me a general sense of the directions involved.
Okay. Yeah, so you take a moment. I mean, you have plenty of time, whether walking or riding in the back of one of the wagons. You take the
Just what I
time
was
to
thinking, Anthony.
study the skies, things like that.
Cool.
You don't seem to notice anything peculiar about the clouds.
Right on.
I was gonna say, do we look for 2 men, a small boy, and a woman in a wheelchair?
Make an investigation check.
Wrong universe. Whoops.
That's in every universe.
I was gonna say, yeah. Is there a door here?
There's a field of decrepit roses in front of you.
Oh shit. We have stepped. We have done fucked up. We are too far in this game. Alrighty. So I know we're supposed to go to this tower, but do we know what we're supposed to be doing at this tower?
Not so much. You just know that if you got kind of like that cryptic message, and you had a vision of this, who you had talked to with the Speak with Dead, essentially in her life, and overseeing the construction of this tower, like the final days of the construction.
Yep.
I guess my assumption was that we would get sort of pulled across again at some point.
Well, it's because we're at like a hamlet outside of the tower. So my assumption is
Correct.
we need to go in the tower. Sorry, that was more towards the group, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, carefully as always, but ever forward.
All right. So we will bid the caravan man farewell. Actually, you said they were looking to fill their water.
Correct. Yeah.
I will use 2 first level slots to give them lots of water.
I think this place is an oasis. That's why they're here.
I will not waste 2 first level slots to give them water.
Okay. Yeah, you do notice there's it is a small oasis. There's like a small pond here, but then they also have like, I don't know, maybe 15 feet from the edge of the pond, there's like a very large well.
I will thank him heavily and then go on my way.
All right. Yeah, they you get a couple of parting, like, again, thank yous and bows of respect, just for, you know, helping them with everything. And as you see many of them going and knocking on a couple of the doors in the village, shaking hands. You do see like 1 or 2 stalls about. It's not huge, but there's some sort of tradings going on, like some rations for this and that, and you know, they're just stocking up before they go. So you make your way to the tower.
Yeah. I mean,
think
unless
so.
there's anything else of note here besides
We're
that
all
oasis.
well rested.
Yeah.
Or is it? Well, we're hitting here midday because we've walked 2 spaces.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a little past lunchtime, so it's like maybe like 1 o'clock or so.
Cool.
Is the settlement away from the tower? Do they built a little bit away from it, or?
No, it's pretty much around the base of it. It's almost kind of like the relationship of a city and a shanty town on the outside of the walls. It's kind of like that, except a little more structured. So yeah, so as you're doing this, you're noticing though these houses are small, they wouldn't necessarily be hovels per se. They seem to be like very neat and orderly. And you see some of the folk that are walking about. Considering the number of houses, there's not that many people about. So either they're inside or they're somewhere else. But you do see a couple that walk past, and they're wearing like long, kind of flowy, like silk or cotton clothing, and many of them have shaved heads, and they appear to be essentially like monks. They're kind of going around and things like that. Oh, sorry. I didn't see the ignore this next roll. I'm like, oh, what's saying?
I was trying to make sure it still worked because I know I had issues with it last week, and I was reading up on my weapon again because I'm like, I know this does a lot of shit, and I don't remember what it does.
Yeah. And so you're kind of noticing the monks, and as this happens, you're going closer to the tower. You feel a slight. It's almost like in the back of your mind, Darum. It's like a vibration, like a woo, that it steadily gets more intense the closer you get to the tower, and you all notice as his as your mate. No, you changed it into a spear, correct? Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
So
Because it was a sword, right?
correct. Yeah, the spear begins to glow. I would assume you're not like wielding it, but you see it begin to glow that same cerulean color.
Mm-hmm.
I will take it out and use it like a dowsing rod.
Yeah, it's definitely the closer you get to the tower, it's getting brighter, and the hum is kind of winding up more.
Darum, just be careful. You don't want to cross over by yourself.
I'll stay close, and I probably had noticeably, like, you'd said that, like, because I was like almost running ahead because I get too excited about shit. So like I'll like forcibly like watch how close you guys are to me.
Yeah, so a couple of the monks, they seem to notice. You also notice that there's a couple that are standing essentially guard, and they don't appear to be aggressive or anything like that. But you come up, and one of them bows, and what is your business here?
We were sent here. A vision from a time long ago of this being built. We're not sure ourselves. What is this place?
This is the Spire of Resolve. It is a place of training. It is a place of study. To train oneself. And at that,
Would you?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Would you mind if we came in? We have food and stuff. You won't have to feed us or anything. If we just came in and maybe looked around, observed a little bit, maybe even studied or something. We're not sure. We're kind of at a loss ourselves.
At that, he kind of he puts a fist in his hand and he kind of bows, and of course, all are welcome here. Just ask your business. That is all. And with that, he opens the large doors with what you'd think would require a lot of effort, but he's still kind of like in a half bow as he pushes just like behind him with one arm, and the door opens. Not an enormous amount. It's like just enough to let you through. They're not like insanely huge doors, but they're like bigger than like a normal door for sure. He steps to the side and gives a gesture like welcoming you in.
Thank you, and I will continue on through.
Excellent.
Making sure to stay in line with my companions.
Absolutely.
At least the name of the tower makes a little more sense now.
Yeah, he follows you. Again, he's just kind of like, he's not breathing down your neck. He's just, observing. And
I was walking around like a weirdo with a spear out, so I don't blame him.
right, and even at that, he doesn't seem to be that alarmed. It's more just it seems almost like he's more intrigued than he is worried.
So as much as I said like dowsing rod, I'm also not walking around with like the spear tip like pointing places. I'm more using it like a walking stick at this point, and just like looking to see like which area gets more of a result.
Right. Okay. It seems the further you walk into it, it's like the brighter it's getting, and it takes the monk a few seconds until he finally approaches you. And what is that which you carry?
A relic of the past. It seems to be connected to a different plane somehow, and honestly, I'm still learning myself. But it has pointed us in the right direction so far, and I'm following it the best I can.
I see. That seems to be the best that you can do. Let's follow.
I would hold it out if he was like looking to observe it, or like I would hold it out like I'm not afraid that he's just gonna like run off with it.
Yeah, he does like the very gentle, like holds two hands out and bows, and he inspects it. You can see at one point he goes from like this calm demeanor to a phew, and he like tests its balance, and he does a couple of like really cool tricks. You're like, whoa, for a second, and then he comes back to his center, and it is a fine piece.
Do you train both mind and body here?
Yes. Are you a scholar?
Yes, certainly. And something of a wizard.
We do some work for the Arcanum. I'm sure you're familiar. If you're a spellcaster.
Well, I spend a good deal of time in the field, but I've never seen a place like this before. It's absolutely fascinating and absolutely just thronging with energy.
Yeah, and so this tower, just to give you a perspective, it's probably like 150-foot diameter. So it's pretty fucking big, and so you're just looking. It's almost like entering the foyer of a mansion. You're just like, whoa! You look up, and there's just a big spiral staircase that goes all the way up. It seems to stretch to the skies, and you can see like you're on whatever level you're on the ground level, let's say, and you can just see where a like a staircase leads down as well, and you're just kind of taking it in. There seems to be some sort of like stained glass or something, because there's like this very beautiful, almost prismatic light that's coming down into the center of the room, and the way it like reflects off the walls is just like, whoa! It just looks really nice, and you can see quite a few of these monks they appear to be dressed in somewhat different garbs, almost as if there's like some sort of stations in here. But you see some of them that just appear to be walking, and like, oh, where's that guy going? And then you see another one coming around back, and he's got like a pile of books, and you see two that are like they're sparring in slow motion, sort of. It seems to be like the centerpiece, right, of their civilization. It's kind of like where everybody is for the most part. And so with that, he turns back to you, Lafro, and well, we definitely welcome the spell touched here. So, should you wish to indulge, we have the fineries.
I think I understand. You have a library?
And to that he nods, and we do, yes. Though, remember this rule. It is for everyone.
Yes,
Nothing leaves.
Oh, certainly not. You're not opposed to some copying?
He shakes his head. Not at all.
We'll see if time allows. how long we get to stay.
As long as you wish. And with that, he kind of takes a step back, just a little bit. If you need anything, you can get with me.
What was your name again?
I am Tunoroth Zarkil.
We are humbled by your hospitality.
Can you spell that in the chat for me?
Yes.
I disbelieve.
Because I don't even want to fucking try to spell that.
Maybe here. My caps lock button is my push to speak, so it made it all fucked up.
Turn around, Zarkill. All right, cool. Thank you.
And he gives a bow and he directs up like with one like the sleeve is like really long. He gestures upward and if you're looking for the library, it is up there that way.
Yes, perhaps after we get the feel of the place.
And if you wish to leave anything, just know it will be protected.
Have the internal struggle of shit. I should have left my book here.
Maybe.
Yeah, fuck it. It's in good hands.
Or at least you can leave your barrel here and know no one's gonna steal it.
Oh, yes.
It's super.
I hand him my
heavy.
barrel.
Yeah. Like full of water, it's super heavy.
I'm assuming we took it back and like I emptied the water into like one of their barrels and then like so
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay,
carrying
yeah.
the 25-pound barrel because if I had like a barrel like I think it's like what like 10 gallons of water like that would be like a 100-pound barrel
Yeah.
because we don't need it like we'll fill enough for our water skins and then we can walk around and like be in not the desert. So
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you hand him. You're like, oh, this barrel, and you push it over to him, and with that, he kind of like with one sweeping motion of his foot, it's like, and it goes up to the wall, and he like with a bow, he calls over one of the people that just happen to be walking by. He says something to them in a language you don't understand, and the other one nods and kind of stands next to the barrel and just hand in fist. Like, just very stoic. It's like, I'm trying to think what they're called, but like the royal guards with the really tall hats. And,
the Sikh
No, he's talking about the British.
yeah.
Oh.
Like, what do you call those?
with the accent I thought he was going like Indian so I was like oh okay or not Indian but like
funny
Turkish
word.
or something.
Yeah. Not like on the outside, but just in the fact, like,
Beefeaters.
standing, like, amazingly still.
Yeah, he means their like demeanor.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Beef eaters. That's what they're called.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
that's a weird name for him.
It is. Yeah. Oh no, those are the. Let me see. Oh, that's a different outfit altogether. Never mind.
Yeah.
I get what he
Definitely
meant.
not the same outfit. I'm just trying to make a comparison.
Yeah, he's like a stoic dude meant to not move.
Yeah. So,
I will thank him, and if I forget about this barrel, that's fine. I think it was like 2 gold.
alright.
We won't forget the barrel.
How dare you forget about our barrel?
How dare you?
This is the good barrel, home of the good barrel. May I take your order?
I cast summon barrel.
Dude, I wish we could. Like, I have a thing that lets me summon like a chest and whatnot, but we need to spend like $5,000 on it. It's ridiculous.
Ew.
Start robbing some monks.
Just look at that. Like, it's ridiculous how much we need.
As soon as I get wish, I'll wish us a barrel.
Do it.
Nice. Alright, yeah, so, yeah, it is yours. The world is your oyster.
So we want to like walk around, see if the spear shows us anything, and then if not, we head to the library.
Sure, that sounds like a good plan.
Take a moment to just look at the stone itself. Assuming
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it. Super smooth.
Yeah, go ahead and do I don't know if it'd really be a history check. It would be. You know, yeah, sure, just because I'm not really quite sure. Yeah, just do a history check, I guess.
You have chosen poorly. I kick ass at history.
Yeah, so you run your hand across it. It seems to be like, initially, you're like, oh, this is a very fine, like kind of like a sandstone. But it appears to be like, because of how smooth it is, it appears to be like a very peculiar, almost marble, sort of like granite, sort of. But what's peculiar, it doesn't have a lot of like the impurities, a lot of the imperfections that you would find. It doesn't have a lot of the like the color gradients and stuff. So you're like, oh, what is this? And you do recall back some time ago that it was something that like ancient dwarven kingdoms had come up with in conjunction with some of the dragonborn clans, where they had like a very special way of producing the sandstone, essentially, and mixing it, and it gives it almost like a glass-esque kind of sheen on it.
Cool. I will, you know, do my elf thing where I keep, combined with that, where I keep an eye out for hidden doors or movable rostrum.
Absolutely. I mean, you see a myriad of doors. It's like the bottom floor was like completely open, but the more you go up into it, it's like there's like weird floors and balconies and stuff. It's kind of like Harry Potter, like Hogwarts, and you look up the stairs, and there's just all sorts of shit going on. It's kind of like that, except, you know, stuff isn't like moving around.
I'm back, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
My instincts are telling me to go down.
Like down the tower, or like dig down?
Like down, like down low as opposed to high, but
Lower. Too
could
low.
be wrong.
Lower.
Let's see if they have a basement.
That they do. So, as you begin to go down the stairs, one of the what looks to be like the guardsmen, he kind of just puts his hand out and, I'm sorry, not here.
Well, we're not allowed to go down. Is what you're saying?
Shit.
And at that, he like gestures back up. He's like, you may go anywhere, other direction, not here.
Is there somebody we could talk to get us down there?
We've come a long way.
I see.
Like, we'll go through the proper channels. We're not going to force anything, but...
I suppose it depends what you are after, but there are some people here that you could talk to. Give me one moment. And again, he calls somebody over, again, mutters something in some sort of speak that you don't quite understand. You guys can recognize it's not like a standard, like there's the racial languages. It seems to be a very specific thing.
I was going to say, is it like a different, like French or like in the common tongue or something like that?
Yeah, it's not in common. It seems to be something perhaps specific to them, or this you're not quite sure. But it's not in common. And again, he kind of like, he stays in his post, and this other guy kind of like runs down the stairs. And you guys kind of like wait there, like the awkward, like, and a few minutes later, he comes back up and does a bow, and as he gestures from behind him, you see this very old-looking, what at first seems to be human, but bald, kind of. Think of almost like Avatar, Last Airbender, sort of, kind of like eyes glowing, like doesn't have the the tattoo, but just looks like
Monkiatsu.
yeah.
I cast Witch Bolt. Oh,
And
no, sorry. Just
he
kidding.
he has like very almost
Shit, it's a hag.
regal, flowing sort of garb on, and he approaches you like he has like a slow stride that it almost looks like he's just gliding. Like he's like, oh, he's walking up the stairs, but then it's just so smooth that you're like, whoa, like it's almost off-putting. Especially to you, Lafro, because like you're very observant, so like you try and focus on it, and you're still like, how is he doing that?
Just no wasted movement.
Yes, yeah. It's like MJ doing the friggin' like backwards walk, moonwalk. You're like, how does he do that?
Except forwards.
Right, exactly. So, with that, he comes up to you all. Hello, I see you are here. As they have explained, you need to get downstairs. May I ask your business?
I don't wish to be melodramatic, but we are on a mission from one of the gods in order to try to prevent a great catastrophe.
And,
Take some time to explain. I don't know how busy you are.
Come. In time we have. And with that, he like does like a gesture, and the others kind of like part out of the way, and he takes a moment to look back over you and gives a nod, and he starts going down the stairs. Come with me. So he brings you down. It's actually not that far down. It's only like 10 or 15 feet, and it opens up a little bit. You can see the staircase, it continues to go down, but he like brings you into a side room. And it's almost like, it's not, I wouldn't quite say like a cafeteria or mess hall, but it's like, it's a small room. There's like a small kind of coffee table. It's like a mini lounge sort of. And he goes in the back and brings out a kettle and whatnot. And give me one moment. You cannot rush these things. And he comes out a few minutes later, and he has a pot of like a steaming kettle, and pours you all a drink, and then himself goes back. He sets it on the tray, and he does have some sort of, it looks to be like honey or something, some sort of like viscous liquid. He takes like a spoon, and he like stirs it into his, and then he puts the spoon back in. Exactly.
I look to Darum to start this story.
I'm kind of entranced by this guy, just what he is, and I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. So I will again hold out the spear and say, this spear has been leading us in the direction of which our quest is pulling us, and it started with the god Mistra, and I will take out the coin and like flip that to him, and I'll tell him about the city and kind of go through everything and explain all the things we've learned so far.
And as you do that, it takes several minutes, and he's kind of sipping. He kind of has like that stoic like resting bitch face sort of, where he's just absorbing what you're saying, and not really giving much feedback until the end. And a dire situation indeed. I see. Well, Do you think what you need is below here? And as that, like, you can see, like, it's the spear is still kind of pulsing this cerulean energy.
Just a first guess. Could be a mistake.
As you know, it sits on a place of power. And the tower it does hold a secret, one I cannot share. Our line is sworn to protect the secret, but if you are truly led here, which I believe you to be, you seem earnest enough, then sure, I will escort you myself.
Psych, chaotic evil.
And he seems to have, like, his stoic kind of expression seems to break for a minute, like he's pondering something, and then he just takes like a few more seconds to, like, he finishes up his tea, and then he cleans up, like, very properly, makes sure, like, all the chairs are tucked in, like, everything is back how it was, and then leads you all down further. And at this point, he has, you see, he like grabs his, like, makes a fist, and, like, he squeezes very hard for a second, and then you can see his hand begin to glow as he essentially uses it like a torch. Afterwards, like, he heats up his hand, and then essentially he's walking in front of you as your guide, because it gets darker as it goes down. Very kind of like, hey, I'm trying to think of what you call it. Kind of like Iron Fist. I didn't even think about that until, like, I described it. But yeah, esque. So I can't remember who has dark vision and who doesn't, but
I think we all do.
You ever see Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon? It's an old 1985 movie.
No, I haven't. Recommend it?
Some good silly kung fu. In the, ever recommend a movie to people and it's so corny that you feel embarrassed about it? But yes, like, it's crazy corny, but a cult classic.
Yeah, check it out. Okay, so as he leads you down, you just hear, like, the as like the footsteps hit the steps down. There's nobody down here. It just, like, each footstep, like, echoes, like, and he leads you down for what seems to be like 10, 15, 20 minutes. You're passing various kind of, like, hallways almost that extend, but you can feel the temperature as it's just dropping and dropping the further down you go, until finally we are almost here. And by the time you get to the ground, he doesn't even need to have his hand, because the spear is just, it seems to be burning so brightly.
I'm warm. I don't know about you guys.
The monk must take note of this as well, yes?
Yes. Once you get to the bottom, it goes from, like, a finish, like, oh, it's a nice staircase, and it all of a sudden opens into, like, a cavern. And you just hear, like, the as just, like, stalagmites and stalactites are just, like, everywhere in there. It seems to be just like a raw cavern. It goes, like, from finished stairway just to cavern, and it is completely dark down here. But he takes a few minutes. He takes out what looks to be like a small kind of tinderbox and lights a torch. He uses it to kind of light another torch, and then hands it to you. You also have light, so.
I also have the spear of super light.
Yes, which pretty much right now is about the same amount of light as a torch. So he brings you into the cavern, as he begins to explain. This cavern, this is what we have been guarding. As you know, this place, it sits on a ley line in power. It actually sits between two ley lines where they cross. This is why it has such strong ties to the different planes. And as you begin to walk closer, you see this giant sigil that appears. It looks like an enormous scale compared to the one that you saw, Darum, that was on the statue at the cave where you guys had the no problem. It's kind of the same structure, the same sort, type, if you will, of sigil. But he gestures to it. We do not let people get close to this usually. I make an exception because, well, let us say you are not the only one who had a vision. I knew when I saw the spear that I could trust you. And he kind of looks sternly and then steps to the side like, do your business. Do you know what you need to do?
Guess we gotta grab on.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okie dokie.
Alright.
Hands and feet inside the spear at all times.
Brianna, is your character right-handed or left-handed?
I don't know that was something I decided. I think I pictured right-handed.
I'll be on his left then, because my handedness doesn't matter quite as much.
I don't think mine really matters either, but
Just like it doesn't matter which hands I have free.
right.
All right. Move forward.
Okay. So as you kind of collect the energy in the spear, you move forward all together. He takes a step back and he just, again, like hand and fist, and he gives you a bow. That's like the last thing you see as the world begins to undulate, almost like you're stepping through like a cloud of jelly. You come out to the other side, and as soon as you step through, you see, or sorry, not see, you feel just a chill that just runs through you. It seems to pierce through your bones. It is just insanely cold, and it's almost like there's nothingness, like it's just completely black. The floor is black. It's like you're stepping on like force, but you don't actually see a floor. It's just like what seems to be an endless expanse of darkness. And as you kind of like move around, you see the light. It's almost like I'm trying to think how to explain it. When you put your high beams on in the fog, almost like it like reflects back at you. At this point, the spear has gone to more of like a dull glowing, and you feel like this. It's almost like a tremor. Again, it seems to like run through. It's just like this slow.
Yep, I don't like that.
On myself.
Can we, can you kill the light? I think that might have something to do with it.
Yep, let's do that.
So I don't know if that makes things better or worse, but
Yeah. So as you kill the light, there's still somewhat of a glow from the spear, but it's much better. It's enough that you can kind of, again, you're like MacGyvering your way through. But the more that you walk, it seems to be like, again, there seems to be no way to direct yourself. Like that there's no, again, there's just no sense of direction here. And you begin hearing this noise, this thrumming. It's almost like pulsing. Like,
just like whispering, like scared kids in a Stephen King movie, just like whispering and like inching forward, being like, "I think we need to go towards the noise, but I don't want to."
I'll stay as close to you as I can.
Of course, I didn't prepare any divination today. God, this is awful. Callie, are you still here?
I'm still here.
Oh, great.
You guys kind of like you almost have to like touch each other or like hold hands or some way, because it's so hard to see. It's not even just like a normal darkness. It just seems to be like, again, there's no signs, there's no walls, there's no anything. It's just like
superior darkness.
Right, superior darkness.
Not even magic missile would work here. I think my spear does something else, but I think... Nope, never mind. It's just a shatter spell, which was not helpful here.
There we go.
Lead word turned on when I cast Mage Armor.
Yeah, I don't really have anything helpful for spells right now either.
I think we just keep moving. I feel like we need to move towards the sound. I know it sounds evil, but I feel like... I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's a gut feeling.
Maybe it won't attack us.
Maybe it won't eat us in one bite.
Maybe we can be friends with it.
All right, crazy, but I don't know.
So yeah, Lafro, you're getting like deja vu right now
from the vision.
Yeah, it's like very odd. You're like, I know this place, and as you guys begin to step closer, at first it seems to be like, no, like directionless, the sound, but as you take a second, and it does seem to have a direction. You have to focus for a minute, because again, it's very hard to have like bearings here. So you collect yourself and you begin striding forward. It doesn't seem as though like you're making that much progress. Like it doesn't seem to be getting louder or quieter. You're just making your way it's almost like an instinctual, like it's this way, it must be this way. And as it does it in that deep kind of you see just an immensely enormous light just and it's almost blinding, like you have to shield your eyes, and just go ahead, just because the sheer size of it, go ahead and make an intelligence check, everybody. Just a straight intelligence check.
Not smart.
Passive investigation intelligence? No.
Just make a straight intelligence. I was gonna give you like an advantage just because anyway, but so again, Lafro and Callie, you're just like shielding your eyes. You're just like, it's a sudden light, and Darum, you have kind of like this spark of insight as this happens. Like you kind of push through and you see, you believe it looks almost like a pupil. Like you look up and it must be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet up, but it looks almost like a cornea. In the middle of this just vast yellow light.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
It's big.
So,
we found it.
Fuck it, I stab it. No, I'm kidding. I do not stab it. I do not want to wake whatever elder god this is.
Polymorph it into a newt.
Then stab it.
Yeah, so you just hear that.
It
but
snoring.
yeah, you almost, like in the back of your mind, you hear this voice that pierces through. Like you can recognize it's coming from the same thing, but it's like it's just making this weird noise. But what you're hearing is like must be translated or something in your skull. You have brought the key. Give it to me. Give it to us.
Sorry, did you say that was in all of our heads or just Darren's?
Yes. Yeah, it's in
Okay.
all of yours simultaneously. What?
I will talk at a normal voice and say, "Who are you? What are you?"
We are one. We are older than time. Before the mortals, before your gods. We've had many names. Though, and like you feel like this weird probing, like in your skull. You would know us as outsiders.
Oh, good. What will you do if I give you this key?
I know.
We will come.
Destroy your world.
So,
Cram it back down your throat and destroy you.
we will finish what we started so long ago.
Hmm.
We are awakening. Fleshy one.
The irony of a giant eye calling me fleshy. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna like turn and be like, group huddle.
Don't see us being able to negotiate with this thing.
Yeah, I don't know that we can fight whatever this is.
The hell
Maybe
are doing
if we
here?
just leave.
Dylan, how long did we walk for before we finally found this thing?
It was like a couple of minutes. Like you walked for like
okay.
5 minutes, like just like aimlessly, and then you found
Okay.
direction and whatever.
There must be something for us to do here. Something we're supposed to do.
Stab the eye.
I don't.
What? I don't know that that's a good idea.
Well, I didn't take any divination today, and Mister was not going to help me here, so...
I think Mister's the only one who can help us here. I just want to look around again, see if I just noticed anything. Something to grab, something to... someplace to run to. Run past it.
I would hate to have you waste a roll. You look around and it's like the same. It's like, you know, the stereotypical like white room infinity forever. It's like that, but blackness, and all you see is this giant eye. It's like you're not right next to it. It still seems off, but it's so immense that it takes up like your whole field of vision in one side.
Is it above us? Like, are we dead center with the pupil?
I wouldn't say dead center. It's kind of like the edge of it. It's not like looking at you. It's just like it opened. And as
Dylan, just because I haven't mentioned it and I have a weird hunch, if I look down, does the floor look any different?
it actually does. It's not much different, but it looks to be kind of like you see like stars and like constellations sort of, but it seems like super zoomed out. Like it's like you have to really focus to be like, is that like, it looks like a star, it looks like constellations. And as you're looking down, and Lafro's kind of like, what the hell is going on? Like he's like looking for his like escape route. The voice whispers, "I am not fully awoken yet. You have more time. I just wanted to see you. Relish in your final moments." And with that, you just see the eye close. We will come soon.
Yay.
And at that, you see like as you're kind of like sucked out of this thing and like kind of plopped onto the ground back in that same cavern. Seems
So when
like
do I roll for madness? When does that happen?
yeah.
Sanity.
So as you just like you're like spilled out and you're spelling like what the fuck, you still have the spear, like you're not missing anything, and you see the monk is still there and he's still in the bowing motion, and he picks himself up and did it not work?
Can we have done that thing like in the movies where like I noticed that the stars are beneath us, and then I tapped everyone and like pointed down right before we got sucked out?
Yeah, we'll say in that brief second, like, yeah, sure.
No, it worked.
Yeah.
And
Darum is like, yeah, he is again the opposite of what happened when he met his god.
yeah, so the light that's coming from the spirits, like, boom, boom, like it's like making, it's just like very erratic, and then it begins to, and it goes down to like a very dull light, like not even a candle. It's like just barely, like it's like crappy glow in the dark toys when you're like, it's not really glow in the dark, but if you like put it up against your eyeball, it is. It's about that level.
Yeah, I put it on my back and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with you for a while.
And Lafro, go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception.
Again, just because you have that observant feat. Okay. No, you pick yourself up and you brush yourself off. Yeah, stuff happened.
We communicated with the outsider. Do you know it? Of it?
He kind of comes back and the outsider. What? I don't know what this is.
How much? So he probed my brain and said I knew him as the outsider. How much of that is like a subconscious, like a base knowledge, like just an instinctual knowledge, and how much of that is like would Darum actually know? Because Anthony knows what the outsiders are.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the reference from when you were talking to the dead, queen. For whatever reason, I'm drawing a blank, lost for words here. But
I don't remember what her name is either.
in all the references, like they've been called the outsiders. Like the outsiders will come, blah blah blah. Like
oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's why when he did that, he would say, "You would know me as this."
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Darum is still like quiet and like maybe not angry, but like frustrated and like scared. Like,
yeah.
We just saw the big bad guy face first.
Well, if nothing else, it gives us some resolve that we know we're doing the right thing. This thing can't be allowed to come across to our world. We'll leave nothing.
How would we even go about stopping something of that magnitude?
We've already begun. Gods must have some sort of plan.
All right. So as you're kind of discussing this, you explain like what you saw a little bit more to the guy. You haven't asked his name, the monk, and at that he kind of has like a recognition in his face. I know. I believe I know what you're talking about now. This is. I fear this would come. We have much to discuss. You have ties with the Arcanum, yes?
Yes. Though
Yes.
I'm not high level.
We must summon them. We must have counsel. And like as he's kind of like, what is going on? You just feel this boom, as like the earth like shakes and then it comes to rest. Like what the fuck? And then it happens again. As everything kind of comes to rest. He's like looking around like, what the fuck? And then he just starts darting up the stairs.
Is this like a similar thing as to when like the giant plane rift opened in the city in the first episode?
This is actually different
Okay.
right now. Yeah, this seems to be like it feels almost like as if it's an earthquake or like something like physical, natural almost. So
Okay.
All right, yeah. Let's get this going. I'll just get this going right here. Come on, little music. All right. So, Lafro. So you notice now, you didn't notice originally, right? It's been like maybe 5 minutes or whatever as you're collecting yourselves and explaining what happened. You notice that you don't smell that ozone. The skin is not crawling anymore. It's almost like the power has gone away for the most part.
Shit.
And you're not quite sure what that means.
What did we do? Just having the key here? No. We weren't sent here just to see that thing. What were we sent here? We should run after the monk. We'll think later.
I agree.
I'm still a few days out from contacting Mistress, so seeing if we can get any more clues. So, and I will run after them.
All right. So as you like go up the stairs at a much faster pace than what you came down, it still takes a couple of minutes to get up the stairs, and that's like full dash. You guys like almost kind of trip over it, but then you're like hiking the robes high, Lafro, and you're just like panting by the time you get up the stairs. Yeah, you're just like, you're done by the time you get to the stairs. It's probably the most you've ever run in your life. It's just, you're gasping for breath. And as you hear like the sounds of shouting, just, and like, it seems to be like somewhat distant. As you come up to that like ground level, this monk has like leaps and bounds. Like he's like, he's fucking way gone. Like you have no idea where he is. The whole tower appears to be completely empty. As you look over, you can see, just because the doors are so wide and the doors were flung open, you can see what appears to be all these monk individuals, and there seems to be some sort of skirmish going on. You can't really see what's going on at this time, like from this angle.
Duty calls.
I think we screwed up their tower. They're gonna be displeased with us.
Well, let's see if we can earn some favor before they kick us out. I heard they have a great library. And run towards the bad things.
All right. So as you come out, you can see all the people that were in your caravan. They're just like, they're like hiding behind houses and shit. They're just like, oh my god. A couple of them are starting to load up, like trying to escape, essentially. And you look over and across, right where this small oasis kind of ends, where the dunes are, you can see what look to be. It's kind of hard from this distance, but just go ahead and everybody just make a perception check, just to see like how much you actually see.
Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hold on.
Wow.
No problem.
Weirdly good perception.
There we go. That's better.
Okay, so Lafro, you're like sweat is all in your eyes, and you're just trying to like rub your eyes out, and you get that weird like salty kind of like briny eye.
You
like,
are just so tired.
Yeah, you can't really see that well. As Callie and Darum, you see what look to be like nasty sort of like abomination things. Like you don't like. There's no words to describe, like to articulate what these things are. Like you look over and you see one of them that it's just like 2 legs, and it's essentially like a giant mouth with a tail. You see like another thing that's just like essentially like a blob with a stinger on it. There's like there's all these fucking weird things like that you've never encountered before. That yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to articulate it. It's blowing my mind. Even my mind blows my mind. So
it's the H.P. Lovecraft description of no mind can comprehend it, the chaos that it is, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you can see these monks. They form like a circle, or at least from your point of view, a semicircle, and they're just attempting to combat these things right now, as they appear to be like blooping just into existence. They're just like bloop, 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 and they're like coming through.
I ask them politely.
Please leave.
If it would please you, piss off. Yes, let's
go help. We
jump the
brought
fuck
this upon
in.
them.
Yeah.
Right on. Trying to think of good uses for Blade Ward, but yeah, I just keep casting Blade Ward on myself.
Don't you get a bonus thing for using your abjuration stuff?
Oh no, it's 0 level, so it doesn't add anything. It would replenish my stuff like based on the level, but
well, you did do mage armor.
Yeah. The shield is up. What's it called? The arcane ward.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have time to prep before we jump in, or is it like we're going into combat?
This is happening right now. What I was going to do is like a slight skill challenge first.
Okay.
But it depends what you guys want to do. Like before we get into that, like how much prep would you like to do? You are at like the front steps to the tower, and this fight is already going down. So if you wish to prep, you may do so.
I was gonna say I want to put on my armor, but donning armor takes 10 minutes, so I don't think I have time.
Can I cast mage armor on somebody? I can cast it on somebody else. It doesn't require concentration or anything, does it? I don't think so.
Can you? I don't think you can cast mage armor on somebody else.
Touch
Touch a willing creature who isn't wearing armor.
I thought it was a self. Okay.
Nope.
Maybe it used to be, but
I think it used to be.
I don't think it is anymore. And yeah, it's not concentration. Just takes one of my spell slots, you know.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that on him. If that's cool?
Yeah, you got it.
You've got like a bless for us. Bless is cool.
I'm actually, just because there's so many of these things, I'm gonna Spirit Guardians, which is also concentration.
Nice.
So
Not
I figured
right
that.
now, but when the time comes, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes, but like I don't want to be like, I don't know how long this fight's gonna last or
Sure.
how long like we can go into it, but yeah, if that goes down, I'll bless everyone. That's still 13. I think we did this last time because my dex actually matches up to what mage armor would give me.
It actually keeps track of my spells now. That's cool. Looks like they've done some improvements with the character sheets.
Yeah, there have been some updates.
All right, so you're doing that. Any other prep that people are doing?
I was gonna cast Bark Skin, but then I'm gonna be pretty much useless in a fight, so you guys don't want me to cast Bark Skin.
Right on.
I'm trying to figure out my AC because it says it's 16, but with my shield and mage armor that would only be 15 because I don't have a dex bonus. I'm trying to figure out where that 16 is coming from.
It doesn't know I cast mage armor on you, right?
No, I think
As I cast it.
yeah. I'm more like maybe if we did it last time, that's where it's coming from. Or do you know what it might be? I think Brianna casts Bark Skin on me, and I think that's where the 16 is coming from.
Yeah, I don't think I've cast mage armor on anyone else.
Mayhaps. That does bring your AC to a 16, so...
Yeah, I'll take 15. It's fine.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
I can cast it on you. I just, like, can't cast anything else.
Yeah, I'm good.
All
Cast,
right.
we're gonna need you for damage and stuff. So, and your other your totems or whatever.
Yee.
Stay
All right.
close to me and my ward can help you, so.
Cool.
Yay.
So, you see as a bunch of these things come out, and these monks are attempting to do the best that they can. You can see they seem to be fairly powerful. Now that they're in full swing, they are just like just essentially rending into these creatures. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Sorry, it might have just been me. You like paused for like a long time. It was
I
weird.
think it was just you.
Okay. I was gonna say. Anyway, so yeah, so you see all these things kind of popping into existence, and these monks are just badass. You can see their hands are glowing as they're just like poof, poof, poof. You look over and you see one that's just like poof, and he finishes off this one thing as this weird blobby creature just like implodes in a fleshy kind of like squelch and collapses. But it's more of a numbers game at this point. There's so many of these things. So what we're going to go ahead and do is do 3 rounds. We're going to do a skill challenge. So essentially describing what you're doing using skills you're proficient in. Essentially, like I assume you're making your way into the fray. So
Yeah.
I can't remember if I've done one with you, Matt, or not.
It's been a while. Not in this game.
So we're not actually, like, casting spells?
Maybe cantrips.
Yeah, at this point, I would say not yet. Like you're kind of like
Okay.
you're going to. I'll say it's kind of like like there's some that are kind of rushing past, and you're like, poof, poof, poof. It's more of like a theatrical for like this second.
Okay, just making sure.
So I'm doing combinations of True Strike and Firebolt. How about that?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. So what? And that would be like what skill that you're
They're both
proficient in?
cantrips. So, let's see. Maybe it's just Dex or my ranged spell attack. Oh no, because that gives me advantage. So
No, that's okay. So essentially, what you do, Matt, is
intelligence is my spell, right?
You'd pick a skill, and so in other words, so like acrobatics or maybe like survival or one of those ones on the list. Pick one that you're proficient in.
Yep.
And then you would just roll that.
I'm going to do insight so that I'm picking the right targets to help the monks at the right moment and not interfere with their fighting, but assist them properly. Is that cool?
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Go ahead. I'm actually gonna swap to different music here.
Nice. Did good.
There we go. It's kind of like a battle music. All right, yeah, no problems. You're like running by and you're like catching up. You've wiped the sweat from your eyes at this point. And you're like, as you're like these creatures are just like falling left and right. They don't seem to be like particularly strong for the most part. There's just like a crap load of them. Some of them are bigger than others.
So I cast the True Strike while I'm looking, and then when I see a monk about to get hit, I do the Firebolt to stop them from getting hit. You know what I mean?
As like some of them, they like zip over at the last second, and just like that brief second of eye contact, and they nod, and then go back to the fray. All right, so go ahead, Darum.
So I'm gonna use perception, and I'm gonna use my perception to find the most clustered group of these abominations, and use like Matt's doing, like a cantrip, like my word of radiance, to kind of just like and try to like push them back a little bit more, or like get them into an area where, or damage them enough for the monks to kind of come in and clean up.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay,
Perceptive as fuck.
You see 3 of these monks that are essentially back to back, and there's no other monks around them, so all these things are swarming over them, almost like a pile, and they're just about to get overrun as you kind of like run over and as like a bunch of them knock out, and they're just you see their fists are just flying with this radiant energy. They begin to like just go into flurries, just enough to like pull them out of it. Again, as they kind of like spread back, and this perimeter kind of tightens up again. Okay, so go ahead, Callie.
Can I use my nature to maybe know how, like, creatures in general are gonna like pack together and attack, and maybe like ward them off, or like know a precise spot to hit them to like kill them off quickly?
Sure. Yeah. All right. So you're trying to read them. Like, unfortunately, it's just like the heat of the moment, and these are also like alien sort of creatures. Like, you've never experienced these before, so you are trying to have a keen perception of like, where am I supposed to hit them? But it's difficult because these creatures aren't alike to themselves, let alone other things that you've seen. So it takes a few seconds. You're still all together, but you don't get any sparks of inspiration, let's say. So let's go ahead, Lafro again. So this time, so you have to use a different skill. Then once you've used one, you can't use that same one. But say Darum could use the same one that you've already used. It's just one person can only use one skill one time.
Right on. Let's do. How about an Arcana to sort of sense when they're about to arrive, like see the shimmer in the air, and then just hit that place just as they're arriving when they're not expecting it. Maybe get in game terms, get advantage on the hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. All right. So it's not that you don't do that. It's you go to do that, but it's just their sheer numbers. Like, you hit one and you like push 2 back in, but just immediately there's just like boop, 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 like they're just popping out at this point.
Right on.
All right, Darum, go ahead.
I think I'm gonna also go with Arcana, but I want to see if I can use it to tap into the ley line. See if I can empower some of my spells.
Okay.
Super clever.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually enough to do.
Cool.
So you do notice that as you're trying to channel it through the spear as a focus, and the spear does come up to a shimmer, but you can sense that a lot of the energy that was there for whatever reason is missing right now. But you do get some, enough that you with the spear and just kind of do like the shatter quite a few of them as they're coming out of the same portal that Lafra was trying to hit. You follow up with those ones and like blast them all back, like bits of flesh kind of like falling onto the ground, like, and a couple of them getting like pushed back into the portal before it closes. Go ahead, Callie.
Are the monks still faring okay?
They seem some more than others. They're definitely still fighting, but it's it's definitely a hard-earned fight just based off the numbers and the alienness of these creatures.
Can I use my medicine to maybe, you know, not like do anything serious? Like if someone's like knocked unconscious, I'm not going to do anything about that, but maybe do like small things to keep the monks on their feet.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah, you do so. Yeah, you're going through and you're helping to patch some of these up as the perimeter is like tightening. You almost like drag away one of them and like help to attempt to like splint his leg, so he can stand up enough to get into a defensive stance and help the perimeter.
Cool.
It's another success. All right, this is the last go through. So Lafra, one more.
All right, I'm gonna use my perception to find critters' weak spots, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Just aiming my fire bolts in places that hinders them a little more than it would otherwise.
Okay. All right, and that does it. So as alien as these things are, you're trying to study their movement. And you're holding back just at the last second. They're like, yeah, like one of them opens the jowls and you just fire it right into the mouth. Things like that. Trying to like get them almost off balance or whatever attacks you have. You're doing it slow but precise.
I like this. This is really cool.
All right, go ahead,
Let's
Darum.
steal this.
So looking around, you can see that the perimeter has started to tighten, and the monks seem to be, just with their training, they're doing a fucking kick-ass job at this point. It's still like, it's more like now that things have engaged and things are going, they've created a good boundary and they're working very well, being trained together, sort of. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think I want to use, so my last one, I'm going to use survival to see if I can form ranks with them, and like my limited training as like a soldier almost to make sure I'm not in the way, to make sure that like I'm helping and not like messing with their ranks at all.
Okay. All right, and you do so. It's still kind of like an awkward transition, but they like accept it. They're also very insightful too, so it's kind of after a few seconds, a couple of people come by and you join right in. You find a way to work together. All right, that's another success. All right, go ahead, Callie. Last one.
My only other like decent skill is also survival. So
Okay.
I will use survival, I don't know, maybe to help with like the terrain of the desert. I guess it would be more for like Lafra and myself and Darum who aren't familiar with the desert.
Okay.
But something like that.
Okay, absolutely. So you begin studying the terrain.
Nice.
At this point, you're attempting to help by pointing out positionings. You're looking very closely. You're studying where is there a potential sinkhole? Where can we reposition just slightly to have, the upper hand?
Yeah.
You're kind of calling that out, and even to like the this perimeter that's going on. And you see as they'll sidestep out of the way as you're pointing it out, and these creatures just begin to like move. They just begin to be more off balance. Again, it's still quite a horde of them.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that the wave of them has ebbed as much as you are just more of a cohesive unit right now, and the morale is staying strong quite a bit at this point. It doesn't appear to be any losses on your side yet, though there's a couple that are fairly injured. So, with that, you guys did very well. So you see one wave come through, and you see these large, I say large, they're probably like 7 foot tall, purple-esque creatures that look to have like tentacles kind of curling up into the air. They just have what looks to be like tattered rags on. Looks to be almost pharaoh-like creatures. And you see one of them stride forward, reading the movements of the monk, kind of sidestepping out of the way. And you can see what looks to be like a circular tooth maw, almost like a beak you would recognize, Callie, as it goes in and it bores into one of the faces of the monks, who just squeals out as it's cut short. You hear like this gross slurping sound as and gushing blood is just an open circular cavity in the forehead of that monk. As it kind of like whips its focus towards you.
Oh boy.
And that is where we're gonna go to the battle screen.
I don't know you.
What's even going on? I hope there's a desert one. Tell me there's a desert one, please. Alright, we can make one. It's literally the same. Okay, so go ahead and put yourselves on the map somewhere, I assume like close to each other, and then I'll place everything else on this sand. It's kind of like maybe that color.
There we go.
Peachy, kind of, whatever. Alright, so...
Looks good, looks sand-like.
Yeah.
Why am I damaged?
Callie will probably be close to Lafro because he said to stay close for his ward.
That was all damage. We'll be needing some initiative.
Yeah, it's just hold on one second. It's being weird. It's like Firefox is trying to be like, oh, you can't do anything. No pop-ups. Okay, I think that's gonna work. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so you see another one.
Goddamn mind flayer!
Yeah, there are several of these things. What looks to be 3 amongst the horde of things. So you can assume there's like these kind of monks are on the perimeter. I'm not gonna put a million tokens down, but they're fighting the horde as these mind flayers, these weird tentacle creatures. If you imagine them more like in rags than the regalness you see normally.
This like we're literally watching like monsters come out of the from our fairy tales come out of these rifts. Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck? So
I mean, the monks mean I can't use spike growth.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Nope.
Okay. Combat. So this is what we do right here. We do it. Combat tracker. Start the combat.
Oh damn!
All right. 1 second here. Okay. So this one comes out from around the side. Like actually bypasses one of the monk's attacks, which throws the monk off balance ever so slightly with a slight push, as the horde of creatures kind of like begin to swarm it, and he's like doing everything he can. But this creature here goes and...
Did you do initiative for us? Is that right?
Yeah,
he's got a bunch of cool new buttons.
Got a bunch of cool new buttons. So, okay.
Oh, look how it highlights the person going. That's super cool.
You should watch our health when we start getting lower health and look at our little tokens.
Yeah.
So, it's going, I suppose, to you. Probably to you, Darren, just because you're in the front. It reaches out its hands to you and like gives like this weird vibe. You feel in the back of your skull just this burning sensation as you're like, And I'm gonna have you on here. Come on, do the thing. Oh, of course. Why doesn't it? Oh, it does it to every. Sorry. How dare I not read up? Yeah, sorry, yo. Okay, it does this to everything. So everybody's gonna go ahead and make a DC 15 intelligence saving throw.
What is this bullshit? Damn.
Wow.
Saving throw.
Wow, I'm freaking proficient in that and didn't do it.
What was the DC?
15.
15, so you just
15.
made it. All right, so those who failed take 14 psychic damage and are stunned for 1 minute. But on your turn, you repeat the saving throw.
Whoa.
Okay, you do not take anything, Lafro, as you kind of you shake it off.
Yep, good job.
You can see a bunch of its own creatures, alike like the small minions, not the other Mind Flayer, are bending to this as well. And the monks. There's quite a few of them that are steadfast, but this is kind of like you just see like a whole bunch of people kind of drop in those few seconds, Darum and Callista, as you're all of a sudden it's like your vision goes blank, almost as just like this white hot searing pain. And yeah, this thing's just going to slowly move up, just like strides forward a little bit. So Darum, so go ahead and repeat the saving throw. Okay,
Woo!
so as your vision kind of comes to you, you're like, oh fuck, and you just have like the worst after effect of like a migraine. So that was your turn, but you're not stunned anymore.
That's
now.
good.
This one here is going to 10, 20, 30. I'm trying to see if it can actually get to you. Yeah, it can. Yeah, just barely. Okay, so it's going to do that, and all right, it's going to tentacles you. So no, as you're just coming through, too, you see this maw of this other one that had, incapacitated the other monk as it begins to wrap itself around you, and you're just like, no, and you just push it off. It kind of gets shoved to the ground, and then like comes back. And that's all it can do. So, Lafro, your go.
Shit.
Stay relatively close. Bless is definitely a better idea here.
I am going to Witch Bolt the dude who's right on Darum.
Okay.
That's my plan. I am going to cast it at level 3, though. Yeah. Let's see.
You got it.
If I push it, then it will ask. No. What happened?
It was probably Witch Bolt. So first, just so I make sure all your spell slots are returned, I'm gonna go ahead hit long rest, just to make sure that, because you didn't take any damage yet. So Witch
I'll
Bolt.
lower those 2 slots. Witch Bolt at level 3.
Must be fucked up. Hold on. I don't think Witch Bolt is in the compendium, so you must have had to enter it by hand. Which, if you did, maybe something's messed up. Yeah, there's no damage there.
Can you give me access to his spell sheet? I bought the PHB, so I should be able to. Yeah. So I should be able to add it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, boo. You got it.
Dylan, can I ask you something while we're finishing up their turn?
Yep.
So I have summon minor elemental, or conjure minor elemental.
Okay.
And it's basically like the same rules as like summon, conjure anything else. So like 1 elemental of challenge rating 2 or lower.
Okay.
And I've been using this app just to like pull stuff up quickly. One of the elementals is an Azer, Azer.
Yep. It's like a flamey dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Because it's an elemental. Yeah.
Yeah, it's under the elemental section. It's a CR2. I just wanted to make sure.
Ignore this roll, Dylan. Just checking it, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Boosh. All right, there you go.
Yay.
So I'll give him that spell slot. Well, I'll
let you
give it
keep
back because
it.
he's going to click it again.
I'll let you keep it if you want it. It's your choice. Since it's still technically a roll for your character. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Slowly.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's keep it.
Okay. So, yeah, that's definitely enough to do it here. Just making sure it doesn't have any, like, weird resistances or whatever. Okay. So, no, as you blast it, you see this creature that's, like, lashing out at Darum. You just hit it, like, right in the dome, essentially, while it's got its maw open. As it just recoils back and lets out this weird, like... And as it does that, you feel, like, that pain in the back of your skull. It's not super intense, it's just, like...
Yeah.
Like, you can almost...
Focused at me.
It's almost like his anger is like visceral and like tangible. And with that, so that was 22. Okay.
As I do it, I say absolutely not.
Look, he turned yellow.
Nice.
So, I'm sure considering my question, no one's surprised. I'm going to use Conjure Minor Elemental and summon an Azer.
Before you do that, right now you are stunned.
Oh, that's right.
You
I'm
down,
sorry.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
So you can re-roll the saving throw at the end of your turn, and if you succeed,
Yes.
then you're fine.
But I'm basically, my whole turn is me being stunned.
Yeah, so you're still
Sorry, that's my bad. I forgot.
Nope, that's
It's
totally
intelligence, right?
fine. Yep, intelligence saving throw. DC 15.
Yay.
Yeah, so no problem. So same thing, like you kind of come to and your vision is like blurry and then it kind of focuses in. You can now see this mind flare just as it's getting blasted with this lightning. It recoils back.
Yay.
Okay, let's see if it recharges its thing.
I was going to say, and then it fucking does it again.
Yeah, then it stuns us all.
It didn't recharge its thing. So
Oh, thank Christ.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's... Yeah, these things are smart. You see as it loops behind you, Darum, and it goes to the now just coming to Callista, and attempts to... Again, you come to it just as this thing is like, you blast the lightning, you look over, and this thing is like 5 feet away from you, encroaching, trying to grab you with its tentacle face.
Yeah, it probably will. Oh, yeah.
So you are grappled. You take 10 psychic damage again. You feel the searing pain at the back of your skull as you, and the tentacles slowly twirl around your face. You guys both see as she is now engulfed.
I'm going to use my... is it psychic damage?
Psychic damage.
I don't know that my arcane ward will help.
Does Hellish Rebuke count? Can I still do that?
You can still do that, yeah.
Yeah, let's do Hellish Rebuke.
You are no longer stunned.
Though you do have to make an intelligence saving throw again to not be stunned.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I thought I was grappled.
So it's grappled and must succeed on a 15
yeah.
intelligence saving throw or be stunned until the grapple ends.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't see that. I just saw the DC on the grapple, yeah.
Thanks,
I
Anthony.
just read it, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
okay,
yeah,
sure.
DC 15 grapple. Go ahead, yeah, make a saving throw. Intelligence saving throw.
You got this.
Boo. Yeah, no problem. So you're like, you're gritting your teeth, you're just bearing through it. As you begin to speak the words, go ahead and do your Hellish Rebuke.
I'm gonna cast it at level 2.
Is it your tiefling one, or is it your?
yeah.
Is it a druid?
Oh, you're
Tiefling
right.
is
I
a
think it
specific.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is tiefling. Never mind.
Tiefling is specifically level 2.
That I
No.
think so, but hold on, let me check.
Okay. Either way, so it's going to be yeah, it's going to be Darum's turn after anyway. So you can.
It is at second. It is at second level actually. So
Cool.
Oh, sorry, has dexterity. Yeah, actually has advantage on this and poop. So takes 8 damage.
aha.
Okay, and then so Darum, it's your go. You can see that she is actually grappled by this. It's like tugging on her head. She's like trying to pry herself away.
Alrighty, so I am going to, because I think we're just gonna need this. I'm gonna bless all of us, and so you're gonna be able to add a D4 and on attacks and saving throws. Everybody getting blessed.
But only once, right?
Yeah.
No, for
No?
the whole
No,
minute
like
and
continual?
forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for a minute or unless I lose concentration.
Right.
Spritz holy water on all of you.
Yeah.
And then, as my bonus action, let's spiritual weapon. Start smacking a hoe.
Which one? This one? Or the other one?
Yeah, we'll do the one we already damaged. We'll just try to burn him down.
Okay. So go ahead and do the 2.
I'm gonna do it at. I think I can only do it at level 2. I don't think it buffs up to level 4, and I don't want to waste the level 4 on that.
Control this, by the way. I just plopped it down, but you can put it wherever. Nice.
Nice.
So as it, ooh, is it spear, right?
Yeah, I'll just make it the spear.
Yeah. So as it like in the air as it's summoned and it slices down across the torso of this creature, and as it just like spills this like purplish black ichor and just again, you all hear it in your mind. This horrible like. All right.
Well, he's really yellow now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is. So it's gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna have to have everybody go ahead and make a DC 15 intelligence check as this one kind of just screams out.
Does he hit his buddy?
Yes.
If he is smart enough, if he moved down one space, he would miss his buddy.
A 60-foot cone.
I think if he started it from here, he would hit me. Oh no, yeah, no, he's gonna hit his buddy unless he moves unless he takes the attack of opportunity.
Fuck!
At a D4. Oh no, it won't help. Never mind. Sorry.
Do you still control my character? I can't seem to click on my token.
Oh, nice job, Anthony.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I can't change anything now because I'm in player mode.
Try closing my sheet.
You should have. I added him. I didn't take yours away. So.
I'm doing something wrong. I don't have. I'm on the measuring tool. I do that every time. Apologize. Saving throw in intelligence. You said.
So I'm gonna make him do it as well. Okay, so his buddy makes it. So, Brianna, go ahead and take 44. Okay.
Well, okay, that's something.
Is spiritual weapon? It's concentration, right?
Spiritual weapon is not concentration.
It's not. Okay, good to know.
Nope.
I was just making sure I didn't override plus. I was like, oh, poo, nanny. All right, Lafro. Can you see the auras around people? You should be able to.
Yep.
That, just so you know, because you didn't see it before, that dictates like how much health they have without giving you a health bar. It's kind of like their condition.
Ooh, hold on, I'm not dead. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
I have Witch Bolt going on the dude, so I'm just going to keep it going.
I can't remember, is it your action or bonus action to hold it?
It's my action.
Go ahead and roll the damage.
Nice.
So it's it doesn't do the level that you casted it at?
Only initially.
No, only the initial one.
Oh, it's kind of balls.
But it's still a free
guaranteed,
D12 per
yeah.
round. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any
Someone gets
bonus
tired of it,
action
comes at me.
or movement,
No, I want to keep next to Darum and keep him in my sights. So.
so Callista, go ahead.
I am grappled.
You are grappled. You are also stunned.
No, Oh yeah.
No,
'cause
you
of
get
the-
stunned again,
the
yeah.
next
You
one.
got stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
it's cool. It happens. So
You're blessed now, though, so that helps.
All right. So yeah,
Which
go
do
ahead.
I roll.
So go ahead and make an intelligence. So you have to make it in order to not be stunned.
Hold on, let me roll my d4. Oh, that'll
Just
make
enough.
15.
And that is important. And the reason why I'm going to tell you it's important is because the mind flare cannot bore your mind unless you're incapacitated, even if you're grappled.
Yay!
So that was key. Yeah. Okay. So that's key because that one goes. So it's going to roll to see if it recharges its shish kebab.
It's grappled onto her still.
Oh yeah.
It's not
Yeah, I
recharged.
basically spent my whole turn being stunned.
Yeah, it does not recharge its thing, but it has you in the tentacles. It's just gonna go ahead and do it again. Unfortunately.
Yay!
Okay, I don't.
That hit.
Grapple does not give advantage. It just reduces her movement.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, he misses either way. Never mind.
So
What? No, he hits me.
yeah, 13.
Oh, I
it's-
thought you did Barkskin, didn't you?
No, it's a concentration spell. I said I
Oh,
wasn't
my bad.
going to do it because I would be useless otherwise.
My bad. I misheard you. I apologize.
Do you not have any armor?
It's a 13.
Yeah.
Like, I think I have
Rough.
some like leather armor, but
So
yeah,
go,
I have hide armor.
so go ahead and make an intelligence saving throw again. Add a D4. Okay. So yeah, you are stunned.
These guys are dick bags.
These guys
Yeah,
are
they're-
dick bags. So you can see as she's kind of like, Callista comes to one knee and just like stops thrashing about as this creature begins to, it's just like looming over her. Here you go.
Get that thing's attention, Darren.
I mean, at this point, there's only like that guy looks like he's almost dead. If you guys kill him and then focus my other guy, I mean, I'm not saying this in character, obviously, but
I think I have to heal first. Alright, so I'm going to use my bonus action to hit this dude.
Which one? The one you're on?
Yeah, the one so actually, I think I can I just move it or attack? Let me double check.
It's as part, you have 20 feet of movement with it.
And repeat the attack. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to move it around so I can get it closer to this dude so when I use it later.
Yep. Yeah, so that's 2. And we could say you could move the other 2 after the attack. It's fine. You could have just as easily attacked and then done the move, so. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, re-roll that. I
One
think
d20 plus 7, you got a 1.
I hit a space in between the 1 d20 and
Oh.
7. Yeah, it was my bad.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Alright,
And then hold on damage.
roll that damage, boo.
I was having a crappy day, but I'm having fun tonight. Thanks for
Slap.
having me
Nice. So,
Yeah, we're glad you could join.
yeah, this thing is starting to look like battered and beaten at this point. It's like beginning to ooze this kind of viscous purple fluid, like from its jowls is dripping down the tentacles, and it's just like not looking very well at this point.
Okay, so I'm gonna move.
All right, that's right.
Yeah.
It's still your turn. So it's
That
your
was my
turn, and
bonus.
then-
Yep. So I'm gonna move here, take the attack of opportunity if it takes one.
Which it do, because it.
I
has
figured.
it. Okay, go ahead and make. Okay, go ahead and make a DC 15 intelligence saving throw, please. Which you
And I'll
automatically
save,
you
yeah,
succeed.
because
Okay, so So you are now grappled. So like as you go to run away, it like grabs you from like behind. It goes like up your clavicle into your neck, and then like rips your head
God damn it.
backwards. You still have your action. You're just grappled in place unless you either break the grapple or yeah.
I also have to make a Constitution saving throw. Hold on.
Alright, no more fucking around.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, just
All right, no more bless either.
caught off guard as this thing looking like kind of like a cornered animal, like it lashes out at the last second to grab your face, and you're just like, oh, you weren't prepared for it. As your mind slips and you lose the concentration.
All right, fuck this thing. I'm gonna cast a level 3 magic missile.
Absolutely.
Clerics have magic missile.
Arcane clerics do.
Okay. So that's just enough. So how do you want to do it? So it's grabbing your face, and you can hear just again. It's like you get an instinct of like this thing's anger and its hunger.
I love the magic missiles. You can shoot them forward, and they'll just go right back around you.
Yeah, I want to like shoot them through the spear. Like I'm trying to like wrestle him off, and so they come out of the spear, and then like hit him in the back as he's like wrestling me.
Yeah, and you just see like as you can feel the impacts as it's holding you, the grip tightens, and you can feel like this gross circular tooth beginning to like turn and bore its way as it stops slowly and like slides down the back of your skull.
And I kick it for good measure. That's me though.
All right, the grapple of course fades as it into the sands.
Which one goes away?
Lafro, your go.
I'm gonna do the level 3 magic missile on the other two. That seemed to work.
Okay. So
Yeah,
magic missile. All the spells from the SRD for some reason get broken.
I think it's because they updated the spells. So I think we'll just have to go through and like any spells he rolls damage or anything on, we'll have to update.
So I'm gonna give you a spell slot back. Just 1 second. No, that's a third. Yeah, so you get a third back.
Well, it should.
I pushed one. You want to give me a 1 back?
Give him a 1 back, and then he can just roll an extra 3d4 plus 3d4 plus 3.
Yeah, 3d4 plus 3, correct. The spell can get fixed after.
And then I'll take 1 away from the spell slot. Okay. So what do I want to roll? How many d4?
3d4 plus 3.
3d4 plus 3. Yeah. Eat that.
Oh yeah. So plus the 5, so it's 17 total. Okay, the grip loosens as you see one of the tentacles kind of slap off and then like goes back and slaps on, and again you feel like the instincts of this creature as the eyes snap to you and then back to Callista. You still have movement and a bonus.
I am going to move over here so that I can assist her with the grapple if just start pulling some tentacles off, maybe? Is that doable? No, that's not right.
I'm stunned right now, so I'm gonna have to make my intelligence roll on.
I'm just gonna run over and grab her, so you know what I mean, and just start tugging on her.
Okay. Yeah. Normally you can like if you pull people, like you could drag them with you, but because it's like a what would you call it? Contested grapple, sort of. What I'll do is you're stunned, right, Callista?
Yes.
So, let's see how I do that.
Let me do the grapple for her or something?
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and just make a straight... It's athletics versus athletics for this. Okay, that was good.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Hold on. I gotta... No way. Yeah, this thing is just not budging.
Shit.
You feel the sensation of just hunger. As this thing's eyes just like narrow, and it's like your mouth begins to water.
Oh,
and All right, so Callista, you are stunned. Go ahead and make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. Whew. So you kind of come to. You can feel some tugging as something is tugging. You can't see, but you're in the middle, right? You're in the middle of the rope struggle here. It is no longer your turn, but you feel this gnarly chipped tooth begin to press itself against your forehead.
Cool.
All right. All right. So this thing's gonna. It's not giving up without a fight. It's gonna go ahead and do its tentacles again. It's got you. So okay.
Oh my fucking god.
And with that, yeah. So yeah. So as you just manage to kind of like, and like when it's taking the split second to like re-grip and try and like bore into you, you kind of like swat it away and you kind of duck under it.
Pull her back.
Yay.
As he pulls you back, poof, like on your ass. You do have like an indent on your forehead. It's like there's just like a tiny bit of blood. Like it's kind of like if you suction cup a cup to your face and you have that hickey.
Yeah,
it's
right.
kind of like that, but like a little sharper.
We can totally fix that.
Yeah. As this thing begins to look around and what is this thing gonna do? It has movement. It doesn't have bonus action. Okay, it's going to straight up. Yeah, it's going to. It sees. You can tell Daramit has like an intelligence about it, so it looks around to you and the magical spear. It's 1, 2, and it begins to run away, taking an attack of opportunity from Callista. And at this point, it's like looking back at you, but it kind of like it takes a step back. And it's kind of like analyzing the situation.
Now, I have Warcaster, so that I believe I can cast a spell as my thing, can't I?
You can. If it's
Cool,
a
I'm gonna
ranged,
cast...
if it's a ranged spell, it's at disadvantage. But if it's a touch spell, it's not. Because when you're doing it, it's when it's in melee with you.
Alright. Let me see if I have
If it's an attack spell, if it's not an attack spell, it doesn't matter.
Sorry. So if I make if it's something it has to save against, it won't be at disadvantage because it'll have to make a save, right?
Correct. I don't think there's no limitations, right, Anthony, with Warcaster? Like,
No, it literally just says you can cast a spell instead of attacking.
nice.
Cool, I'm gonna cast Blight.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
DC 14.
DC 14.
She's
It does
dead.
anything magical. This thing does have advantage on, but we'll see.
Damn it.
So, it doesn't have a very high const. Yeah, boom.
Yes!
Oh shit,
Fucking
son.
get wrecked.
How do you want to do this?
Remember that mind
I'm
flayer?
so mad.
That was good damage. Good damage, Blight, and poor saves. Okay, yeah. How do you want to do this? So
Yeah.
it attempts to run away from you.
Oh man, I just want it to like wither away, to like dry up into like a husk.
Yeah, so as you like reach out and you like grab this thing by the back of the neck, you can hear this horrible like, and again you get like this just nasty, like you get images flashing in your mind and just like this instinctual. It's almost like trying to lash out at you as you bear through it. A little bit of the streak of blood kind of runs past your eye, and you see the back of it, the base of its neck kind of wither and crack away as that crack like splinters down up and over like where the clavicle would be and up the back of its kind of exact like back of its head. It begins to suck the life force as it becomes just this withered husk, and as you pull your hand away, it actually rips out a chunk of the neck. It's now like almost like a charcoal like material. It's brittle as this thing begins to fall into pieces. looking
I've still got a
Yay.
completely
hand on your
dehydrated.
shoulder from where I came to help you, and just say, "Oh, Callista, that was inspiring."
Oh, thanks.
And yeah, so with that, you're doing that. You look around, you see the monks have taken out most of these things. As the last couple dribble of like a couple of creatures fall through and just, you know, feebly fall at this perimeter wall of monks. Some of them look back in awe, in horror of what's going on, to the things that you just encountered. Many of them are just writhing on the ground, not dead, but who knows what. They're just screaming out to the skies, grabbing their heads. And with that, I think that's the end of combat. I don't know how much longer you have, Bree.
We can go for like another like half hour to an hour.
Okay, so yeah, so as you do that, the sounds of battle slowly cease and come to a halt. You still see there's like that tension. There's like a few minutes where nobody really wants to move yet. Like that unsure, like, is there more coming or not? And the uneasy kind of standstill all of a sudden ceases as everybody looks at each other and begins to take a sigh of relief. You see the larger monk dragging behind one of these creatures that you had, these weird tentacle creatures that are totally not mind flayers, and kind of like throws one and that kind of like poof, up against the body of the other one you took out. And nice work.
So I will heal 6 damage because I thought mass healing word healed for more. To myself, Callie, and then 4 other people because I don't think Lafro was wounded at all, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Mass healing only does a D4?
Yeah, I thought it did more. I thought it did 3d4.
Huh. Maybe read the spell. Maybe your spell's not correct.
Nah,
but I
it's
don't know.
1d4. It's just up to 6 creatures, so I can do it to 6 creatures,
Oh.
which is the thing. So technically, it's 6d4 of healing, just spread out.
Gotcha.
And the added distance thing now is always a penalty.
Yeah, it's like a 6. Yeah, it's people within 60-foot radius of me. So yeah, so I'll just do some tiny healing, just be like ha, and like heal a bunch of people around me.
Yeah.
Spare the dying.
Oh, as some of them grabbing their head, they begin to like calm down, and they're still like they're laying on the ground, just kind of like on their back, staring up. They are slow to get up. I take it these are the outsiders that you speak of.
At least they're servants.
Pretty powerful servants.
Glad things worked out well, but we didn't intend to stir the thing.
He kind of like puts his hand up and, no, friend, I do not believe it was your fault. I saw this coming in a vision, much like you said you saw. Not this, but of you. You caused this. Glad that you were here when all of this happened. You have my respect. That he bows, and when he bows, like everybody, like there's like 100 monks, and they're like all bowing at the same time.
Must resist urge to Lord of the Rings this. You bow to no man.
I am no man.
Eh.
I still think something here we're supposed to do. Perhaps you would help figure out what that is after we rest.
With that, you can see he puts his hands into a fist, and they begin to light up, and then it kind of like ebbs away slowly. I fear this I fear this. Yes. It seems the ley line has grown weak. We have taught ourselves to draw from it. I could feel its power going away during the battle, but
Oh, we've already done it.
I do not
They
know.
needed the power in order to cross over.
I do not know. I think it might be a good idea to get someone from the academy to come over.
Can't argue.
Yeah, I'd have to wait tomorrow to do some sending.
I think he can. He intimated that they work.
Fair.
Yeah, and to that, yeah, he elaborates. Yes, we have the means to do such a thing. There's not the skill of anyone here, but we have a device. Have you ever seen these before?
In childhood books that were meant to scare me.
Book for a child. I could never dream this up in my worst nightmare. He's saying, and at that he kind of like spits on the corpse and
Trying to eat her head.
we lost some good men. It could have been worse. Come.
Yeah,
We
I
have
took
much-
more. I was barely prepared for battle. I took more like, oh, we're gonna do some research spells today, and then none of them were divination. Like I have like tongues and like speak with dead and like stuff like that. Like I was like, nope.
Good job.
Oh, actually, do we want to speak with this dead thing?
I don't really want to.
It seemed fairly mindless. Not
It mostly
entirely, but it was nothing but hunger. You heard its thoughts.
But I mean, that's up to you if you want to talk to it.
Maybe that's all we got. Maybe there was more.
I don't know what it would possibly tell us that we don't already know.
You force it to tell you something.
I have 5
Any
questions I can ask it,
questions?
and it does not have to answer me if it does not want to. So it may be useless, especially if it considers me hostile. Which, assuming we just killed it, or not assuming, but because we just killed it, that I'm assuming it considers me hostile. So
I mean, what are we going to ask it? Who sent you? We know who sent it.
yeah, no, I think you're right. It's a moot point.
I'm sorry, Darum. I know you like talking to dead things.
They usually hold so much information.
If you'd like, I can introduce you to some dead plants.
They don't speak.
Oh,
Not as interesting.
I can speak with plants.
Not too fucking know.
I'm just saying they can talk.
Yeah,
Just only to certain people. They're
Yeah.
very shy.
I talk to dead things and sentient things. I talk to dead sentient things.
Plants are sentient. They have thoughts.
About what?
You know, about
I'm
like what's
assuming-
going on, and
Growing and
those are some of its thoughts.
yeah.
Avoiding getting eaten.
You know, how warm it is, what's going on in the area. I mean, I haven't really used it recently. You know, we're in a desert, so there's not like too many plants.
All right, if we find a cactus that knows about the outsiders, we'll ask it questions.
Okay, well, they might not know about the outsiders. I'm not saying they have particularly useful information about this, but they do know things.
Fine. Anyway, I need a nap.
I could also use a nap.
Let's head in. Get out of the sun anyway.
Yeah, so with that, he guides you all kind of inside, and like sits you down and lets you know that he is going to contact the Arcanum.
Is there a place we can lay our heads in the meantime?
Oh, absolutely. Like the spire is huge. So you begin to rest and like, you can see that many of these monks are just broken and beaten, and but even so, they're still picking up their dead. They're picking up the corpses of these creatures, throwing them into a pit. They're as broken and beaten as they are. They're still going strong at this point.
I assume we're just taking a short rest right now, correct?
Yeah, because it's still like mid-afternoon.
Right. So for some of it, can I just, like help out with like maybe a healing word or like a cure wounds? I don't have many spells, but then after that, maybe I could like stabilize some wounds with my medicine checks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. So you're
Cool.
going around. You see like a couple people, like one dude straight up has like a hole through like where his kidney is. Just go ahead and make
cool.
go ahead and make a medicine check.
Hold on, sorry, I had to get over to my core page.
Tiny.
It's not great.
Yeah, it looks really bad. Like you're not 100% sure just because it's like gory and you can't tell like how much of it is like aesthetic damage and like how much of it's like the real deal, but it's pretty deep.
Yeah. Those are kind of like all that stuff in there is kind of important.
Oh, absolutely. So you're going through, so you're trying to tend to that one. There's some other ones that have like, there's quite a few that have like broken, like little stuff like, oh, this one's got a couple broken fingers, like this one's got a broken arm, this one's got, you know what I mean, like sprained this and that, and you're just trying to help them put splints on it. And anybody that's clearly gone, the monks are taking care of and doing their own preparations and last rites sort of things.
Yeah, I'll let them do that because they probably have like special stuff that they do.
All right. So, taking a short rest and you're doing that.
Yep.
So,
I
Darum,
get half my spells plus.
as you're
rounded up.
taking your rest, I wouldn't restore that stuff yet.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Unfortunately. So, so you notice as you're kind of like, idly kind of like looking at the spear. Again, remember how I said it's the very faint light. What little light it has goes out, and at that, you hear.
Oh, no.
You are in the spire, so. Callie, you see first, because you know this is.
Oh no.
You look up as you see these spider cracks going all the way across the sky itself. You look up and you're like, no. These monks, they're all looking up and they're speaking in whatever tongue they have, and they're shouting out like, oh, and they're, like not quite sure what it is. And with that, you feel that strange sensation when you guys have passed through the plains with the spear. Imagine that on a grander scale. You feel like you get completely sucked into yourself and then extruded back out into the same shape. It's just the most horrible feeling. I'm actually going to have you guys go ahead and all make Constitution saving throws, please. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so holding on to the spear in your naturally hardy self, you're like, ugh, you bear through it and you come out the other side, no problem.
We both rolled 8.
Brianna and Lafro.
We're tight.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
We puke together.
You straight up, you begin to like feel nauseous and queasy, and then like the world spins, you just like fall unconscious, you faint.
Yay!
So, I suppose just because this is interesting, and because I want a good spot to leave it, so I'm going to take Anthony into the whisper zone here, since you guys are
The
unconscious.
whisper zone.
All right, yo.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, you see, as the world has fallen away from its prior form, and you are now in what looks to be a large rainforest, essentially. You're looking around. You don't really have any sense of bearings. There's nothing correlates to where you were before. And you see everywhere. You're kind of in like dilapidated ruins of a tower, but not like quite as large. It's like perhaps the same shape as the spire you were at, but completely like broken. Like the wall's only maybe 10 foot high. It's just been eaten away from who knows. And looking around, you do see everybody that was there got pulled in with it. You see all the monks are still there. Many of them are passed out, including Lafro, and if you do any exploring, you see that Callie is also passed out in the middle. You hear birds chirping. You hear all sorts of various noises of the forest. And they are unconscious.
Can I try to wake them up?
Sure. We're gonna go back here into the general now.
I have a student who is a blood hunter, and
Yes.
it was after like a week. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what Brianna was. She was
Yeah,
a blood
I
hunter.
was a blood hunter, and
But
then in
he's
our
a
other
minotaur.
game, nice. In
So-
our other game, I have a rogue that's an arcane trickster.
Hey, wake up, fuckers.
So
I wish
as
I could.
as he begins to shake you guys awake, there's kind of like a little bit of breakfast, kind of like it pooling at the edges of your mouth. Still waking up, like your head is spinning. You kind of
Sick.
you rub your eyes and you're what is going on, and you see Darum's face as he looks very concerned, shaking you awake. That's where we're gonna end it.
5 more
Oh
minutes.
my god!
Cool. Had a blast.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Great
cool.
time. The rolls really went our way tonight. Pretty
They
awesome.
sometimes.
Oh
went
my
our
god.
way.
I'm real.
That could have
really
gone
glad.
so bad with the mind flayers just all fucking. Just,
Oh,
like,
I was
blasting us to
already
death.
like in my head being like, I'm gonna have to roll a new character. What if I fail this intelligence check? I'm just gonna straight up die.
15 is tough, but the fact that they can't
It
bore you
shouldn't
unless
have
you're
been.
completely-
I have a 5 in intelligence saving throws. It shouldn't have been tough. I just rolled like shit.
Well, it still means there's what? It has to be 15.
It's a coin flip at that
Yeah.
point, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I was doing. I would get stunned, and then I would come out of it, and then I'd get stunned, and I'd come out of it.
I felt bad because the whole point. So I was gonna walk up to you, and what I should have done instead of attacking him was heal you, and then. I mean, I don't think it would have mattered either way because he grappled me. But I was gonna come up to you and use freedom of movement, so you could just get the fuck away from him.
It's okay.
But-
It worked out.
All right, I'm cutting the stream.
Yay.
Last stream.